everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about Tower of Dawn. I'm so excited about this. Probably a little too excited. But before we get into Tower of Dawn, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that way you can be notified of all the fun and exciting videos that I like to put up about books, travel, and a little bit of tech. So let's go ahead and get started on Tower of Dawn. So if you don't know, Tower of Dawn is a parallel book to Empire Storms by Sarah J. Maas. Once again, a parallel. It is not the next book after Empire of Storms. It is the next book after Queen of Shadows. Okay? So you can read Queen of Shadows and go straight to Tower of Dawn. The references in this book to Empire of Storms does not really give much away. It does not give any spoilers away or anything like that through Tower of Dawn. Granted, if you read Queen of Shadows, I know I'm probably getting all the titles mixed up. If you read Queen of Shadows and then Empire of Storms, you will understand said references in Tower of Dawn. But my point in saying all of this is that these events that are happening at the exact same time as Empire of Storms. Okay? Because some people, I don't know how they don't know this, but some people think this is the next book in between Empire of Storms and Kingdom of Ash. Like this is a continuation through Empire of Storms and then Tower of Dawn and then Kingdom of Ash, which is coming out in October. Even though throughout all of the media posts and all of the hype that surrounded this book last year, and even when I went to the Sarah J. Maas event last year in Atlanta or in Decatur, it was clearly said that this is a parallel book to Empire of Storms. Okay? So does that settle that? Because, you know, some people had problems with Sarah J. Maas's other series, the ACOTAR series, with A Court of Frost and Starlight, not understanding that it's literally just a bridge. It's like this big, and it's just a bridge between the ACOTAR series and her next series. So all these things are always clearly stated before they're published, but people like to make a fuss, and then they look silly because it's like, well, these facts were already stated prior to the book even being out. So no. Anyway, Tower of Dawn. I liked Tower of Dawn. I really did. I like Tower of Dawn, which is interesting because I don't like Kale that much. If you don't know, I guess I should go backwards. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited about this. If you don't know, Tower of Dawn is a parallel. Let me say it again. Parallel to Empire of Shadows, and it follows Kael and Nezrin as they travel to Antica. If you haven't read the series, it's hard to not give spoilers during this because this is like the fifth or sixth book in this series. So it's like, if you're watching this and you haven't at least read books 1 or 2, like, I'm sorry if I spoil the book for you. Like, I'm sorry. So I guess this is your spoiler warning. Basically, this follows Kael and Nezrin after the battle between the King of Adarlan, Dorian, Aelin, Rowan, and all of them as they fight basically Morath's forces and Erewhon and Duke Parrington and all of their forces and the Vogue, and take down the Glass Castle as well as kill the King of Adarlan. So all that has happened in the previous book. Okay? So this is during that time, Kael finds himself severely injured. I mean, he almost died. So I guess we have to count our blessings on that one, the fact that he just ended up injured. But with that injury, he's paralyzed now from the waist down. And is finding himself in a wheelchair. And of course, just like any of us who has ever been injured and then finds themselves not active, not being able to feel, move, anything like that, you know, it hurts. It hurts, and it's really hard on your emotions and in your pride. And so he is struggling to deal with that. Of course, even through his injury, Dorian has appointed him to the hand of the king, and also has then appointed Nezrin Falik to the captain of the guard. So that way, of course, Dorian is now King Dorian of Adarlan. We all know Aelin is Queen Aelin of Terrasen, and Aelin Galathynius of Terrasen. So now that we've got everybody's titles and official things done. So Caol and Nezrin, they find themselves going to Antica, where they have a place called the Torre Chesme, where it's like a place filled with healers. And basically they are magic. They have magic, their own healing magic, and have been able to accomplish a lot of amazing things. So when they travel down to Antica, they are hoping to get Caol healed up and able to walk again, but they're also hoping to be able to come back with allies and aid in order to fight this war with Duke Parrington and all the forces of Morath. So with that means the two of them have to go on a goodwill mission to go create allies with the Coggin, the Great Coggin, down there, and his family, because basically all of his children are princes and princesses who have their own thoughts and opinions, and also are in charge of their own parts of the military under the Great Coggin's rule. While they are down there, we meet a whole host of new characters, and one of the most important is going to be Irene Towers, who is a healer, who is not the supreme healer of the Torre Chesme. You have like your professor, and then you have your TA. She's the TA of the Torre Chesme, basically, like the whole thing. Like, she is supreme TA of the Torre Chesme. And basically she is just a really gifted healer, and the Supreme Healer Supreme, I think that's how they put it, like Taco Bell order. I'm funny. She gives Irene this final task, because Irene basically has passed all of her exams and has learned not everything that she could possibly learn, but she has learned the majority of the things that she could possibly learn at the place, and can now leave if she chooses to leave, which Irene wants to leave because she's actually a daughter of Adarlan, which is how they phrase it, daughter of Adarlan, who has seen some terrible things and basically wants some vengeance and a little bit of revenge. But she says that she really wants to help people, but she really wants vengeance and a little bit of revenge, even though she says she wants to help people throughout this war and help heal people. But the Supreme Healer Supreme, gives Irene this final task to try and heal Caol, which is an emotional battle for her, because of course Caol is from Adarlan and is also was captain of the guard. So it kind of brings back a lot of emotions of her watching her mother be killed by the captain of the guard and burned alive. I know, big stuff. But it brings all of that back to her, and well, it never left her, but she doesn't want to help a captain of the guard from Adarlan to be better, but it is her mission in life to help heal people, so that is what she is going to do. So we follow Caol and Irene, and then we also follow Nezrin, and we all know, well, we might not all know, but Nezrin and Caol have this little relationship. They're like friends with benefits. Let's be honest. They are friends with benefits. They've never really defined their relationship and their boundaries within. So we have to watch that push and pull tension of, now he's a completely different man than he was before due to his injury, and now they're also going to Nezrin's home country where she's from, and so she wants to go spend time with family, find out more who she is and all that kind of stuff, while Caol is there to heal. Caol and her are they're dealing with a lot between the two of them. So we get to watch that story unfold, which it sounds really boring, but in the first 200 pages or so, it's not necessarily boring, but it's a lot of emotions. And I think that's where some people don't like this book, because it deals with a lot of emotions. And between Caol, people think he like doesn't have feelings, or he's a terrible person, or they used to think he was a good person, now he's a bad person, and people have a lot of different emotions towards Kale. Kale just wasn't one of my favorite characters. I didn't hate him, I didn't dislike him, I didn't like him. He's just kind of there for me, you know? Like, I understand his position and what he's there for and kind of what he represents, but he's just there. But this story brings you deeper into Kale's life. And so kind of getting away from like the synopsis of the book and more into my opinion, this book brings you into Kale's life. And I guess because I'm in healthcare and I'm in EMS, and I see a lot of tragedies on a daily basis, that I understand this emotional journey that Kale has to go through, and that we have not we have to read, but that we have to experience and read, because people who go through these sorts of things have to deal with a lot. And then when you have someone that you believe you love, and you're feeling this tension between the two, and you're not quite sure that person who you believe you love and who loves you back doesn't know how to support you in the ways that you need supporting, then that is also an issue in and of itself. So that's kind of where some of the push and pull Kale and Nesrin have. And then you've got Irene, who comes in and who is just like basically any physical therapist anywhere, or any good physical therapist anywhere. No nonsense, no crap. You can do these things for yourself. If you can do them for yourself, you're going to do them for yourself, and we're going to get you healed up. That is what any good physical therapist, athletic trainer is going to do. Trust me, I know. I have had knee surgery twice, and I've done a lot of crying during PT, okay? But it gets better. It gets better. Hurts like heck, and it gets better, okay? And Kale has to go through all that. Like, he has to become a better person, to heal both mentally and physically. He has to push through all that. And so we get to read that. We get to read that portion of Kale. And throughout all of this, then we also get to see Nesrin's side. Nesrin is really from Antica and the regions of Antica, but her and her family moved to Otterland when they were really little. And so in Otterland, basically she's seen as other. A lot of people don't, they don't want her kind in Otterland, which is terrible. And so she's never truly felt like she fits in those places. She's been called names. Not only that, she's also a female in the guard, which is also hard, because most people don't believe females can fight. Because why would we be able to fight, huh? Like, why would we be able to be strong? We just push babies out of us, do unimaginable strong things all the time. But it's fine. It's fine. But we follow Nesrin, and basically we get to see Nesrin fully awaken during the story. We get to see how she comes into her own and how she feels at home, not only like in her place, but within herself, to where she finally feels like she can breathe and be great. She still wants to help Otterland. She still feels like Otterland is a part of her and is a part of her home, and she wants to go back and fight for it. But like, there's so much more that she has felt being here. And I think that was also important for Nesrin to get that sort of clarity as well. And I think that's going to help her be a stronger character and a better character versus the very flat character that we had before. I guess breaking it down to how I've been breaking down my stories. Overall, I give it 4 stars. I can't give it 5 just because there were some boring parts, but bruh, the end, oh my god, like somewhere in the middle, I don't know, somewhere in the middle, there are some key plot twists, like some key, like, in some of our other books, like, reason I didn't like the first one or the second one is because you could see these plot twists coming from a mile away. You were like, not even a mile away, from like page 1, you could see these things coming from, and you're like, okay, well, we knew that was gonna happen, like, duh, he falls in love with her, like, come on, child's play. But this, there were a couple in here, and I was like, bro, you're joking. I am literally reading this at work, and my partner looks over me because I'm over there on my Kindle like, oh my God, like freaking out because there are some key plot twists, and that, like, not only is it a key plot twist, it's a key piece of information going into this final book. Like, I mean, they'll most definitely mention it again. Because when I realized I was reading the ending, I realized they did not mention that information again. Like, that one sentence again. They did not mention it again at the end when they were supposed to be recapping. And so they're going to probably reintroduce it in Kingdom of Ash. And, like, just that alone was just blew me away. The theme, I don't know what the theme of this, it's hard to make like a theme thing in this because, I mean, it's a series, so like the whole theme is good versus evil, but sometimes good can be a little evil and good can be a little bad, but it's okay because they're still good. That's kind of like the theme of the whole series, right? Of like Aylin's life. Like, it's okay to be good, but like she's also a little bad, but you know, she's fighting on the right side of things, but she's still a little bad. Like, that's kind of the whole theme. And you know, that's like classic, I don't know, classic theme. It's like every other theme ever. So I don't know, 3 stars, 4 stars, don't care. That's irrelevant. Main characters. I'm gonna give, this one has a few main characters. So, but I'm gonna give all the main characters as a whole 4 stars. For both Kaol and Nezrin, because I felt like we got greater character development for them emotionally. And I think that's important. I think that's very important to really deal with what's going on inside of you. Just as someone who's been dealing with a lot inside of myself, I feel like it's a lot to recognize things that you need to work through, you know, things that are holding you back aren't a physical problem. It's a problem within you. And I think that is something that is very good to come to terms with. And it's hard to really get to that point. And then Irene, I love Irene. I would really give her 5 stars because like, I love her because I feel a lot of people in healthcare in her, you know, of like, a lot of people in healthcare are dealing with their own stuff. Like, people tend to sometimes forget that people in healthcare, from firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, nurses, doctors, PAs, NPs, all of them, they have their own lives at home. And not only do they have their own lives at home, but they also have your lives. And especially, not going to say especially in emergency services, but I'm in emergency services. We see a lot of death and dying on a regular basis. And it's like, we can joke about it, play it off, because it's the easiest way for us to go on to the next call that probably has to deal with death and dying. And so, but we don't ever really talk about it. We truly don't talk about our feelings sometimes. And until it gets to a point where we finally have this realization that it needs to be talked about. And so I think that Irene has a moment in this book where she truly comes to within herself to figure out how she can heal herself and heal her patients. And because she loves helping people. She loves healing people. She wants to do it. She wants to be there for others to make them better. But she also has things going on in herself. So I could really identify with Irene personally. So I love her. Sorry. Love her. I do. Our villain in the story. Our villain is a continuous villain from the other books. It's really the Vogue in this one, more so Parrington or Erewhon as a person. It's really just like the Vogue, because there is an infiltration of the Vogue in Antica that no one wants to believe. Kaol and Nezrin, there really is actually an infiltration, and so they have to deal with that. But you know, it's a bad guy. It's a bad entity, and so like 3 stars. I mean, it's just average. It's an average character. Like, we aren't dealing with someone who is truly and wholly bad. I mean, yes, the Vogue is truly and wholly bad, but I mean, like, in this particular book, we're dealing with, like, one lower character on the realm of the Vogue. And so the bad part is that they're able to take over other bodies, and we don't know who they are until it's time to kill them. And then we don't want to kill them for stupid reasons. Now that did piss me off. That did piss me off. So like at one point in the book, the Vogue has infiltrated a certain person. And then we don't want to kill this certain person. This is kind of a spoiler for this book. We don't want to kill this certain person. So I'm sorry if you haven't read it, because I'm about to say it. We don't want to kill this certain person because they're pregnant. Like, bro. We are literally talking about my life. This person's life, that person's life, all these lives out here. And this person's already taken a couple of lives. Like, I don't care if they're pregnant. We need to kill them. You have almost died fighting this non-creature. I mean, am I glad they figured out how not to kill them? Sure, fine, whatever. But you put a lot of lives in jeopardy by thinking, but what about the baby? What about the baby? I'm not gonna hurt her because of the baby. Because of the baby. Like, I understand pro-life and I understand pro-choice. I'm all about pro-choice because, like, people get to make their own decisions, and those characters made their own decisions not to kill this person. And if those decisions came back to bite them in the butt, granted it's Sarah J. Maas, so of course it didn't come back to bite them in the butt. But you wouldn't be saying but the baby. Like, don't let stupid things hold you back. Like, because you saved both. They saved both characters. So that's good, but that baby better grow up to be something freaking awesome. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But of course with that character, some sentiment happened, and you'll see why at the end and all that kind of stuff. So that character, unlike the rest of them, is going to be just fine and will probably grow old. So, whatever. But I think that's it. Let's see. Overview, theme, characters. Yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. With that, I have another copy of Tower of Dawn. Speaking of that, another copy of Tower of Dawn. If you've made it this far through the video, you get to know. Because this one's long. This is the longest review I've done in a while. But I've got another copy of Tower of Dawn that I am giving away to you. Wacky inflatable. That I'm giving away to you right here. It is beautiful. It has not been tossed around in my bag or anything like that. It is a beautiful signed copy by Sarah J. Maas that I've had since last year, that I've been meaning to give away, but I've had it since last year, since I went to the Sarah J. Maas signing event in Decatur, and I'm ready to give it away. You can find this picture on Instagram. Go tag your friend that you would want to travel to Antarctica with, comment and like the picture, and you must be following me on Instagram as well. We will be checking, or I will be checking, not we, I will be checking. So you must be following me on Instagram. You gotta like the picture, and you have to comment a friend that you would travel to Antarctica with to see all the amazing things there. Finally, as I wrap this up, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any fun and exciting reviews, books, or anything like that. And don't forget to follow me on the socials so that you don't miss any more Instagram giveaways. Giveaway now. And like this video if you like this video. I'm sorry it was a long one. I had a lot to say with this one. I had a lot to say. I liked it a lot. So subscribe, comment what you thought of Tower of Dawn, like this video, follow me on all the socials. Look out for the giveaway of this book. It does end Labor Day. And that's it for me. So until next time, keep turning the pages.